there. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to go over all the ins and outs of your collar. So this is a 302, an ET-302, which is a two-dog system. You basically are going to have the black collar is moose, and the red button is going to be olive. Normally comes with a red and a black collar, but I got you a purple one for olive. It's their new color. I thought it was pretty. So anyway, when you first wake up every morning, so you're going to charge this every night like you do your cell phone. You're going to take these off of charge and just turn this off real quick. Okay. So you have one charger. Everything connects to it. So you have a little splitter right there that's going to allow you to plug in both collars and your remote all in one. Your remote is under here. Your collars are under here. These are fully waterproof, so they can go in the water with them on. They will be fine. This will actually float. Just make sure that all your little plastic pieces are closed. So when you plug this in, you're going to see it turn solid red. That means that it's charging. They have a 2-hour rapid charge. So after 2 hours or less, this will turn solid green. That means that it's fully charged. When you take it off charge each morning, everything is going to be off. Your remote's going to be off and your collar is going to be off. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to hold down this big button back here, the on-off button. Okay, and you're going to hold that button in until your blue screen comes on. That means that your remote is on. Now you're going to pair it to each collar. So you have a little red magnet right here. You're not going to need to touch any buttons when you do this. You have a little red magnet right here, same as here, right next to the light, and then you have a little red magnet on the opposite side of your buttons. All you do is tap these together. Okay, so you tap, sorry, it's hard to do this. Okay, so you tap them together, and you'll see it turns green. That means that you're paired. So I always test it. Oh, 1, 0, that's why. Yep. Sorry, it's hard with one hand. Okay, there we go. So that's what it looks like when it's fully charged. One second. Okay, I figured out the issue. They messed up on the color of the collar. This is supposed to be, this is actually paired to the red button. I'm going to switch it for you, don't worry. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap the button to the corresponding one. Now again, this is going to be the red button and this is going to be the black button. Okay? So like I said, first thing you're going to do, you're going to take this off of charge, hold your big button down, and then you're going to touch your magnets to each one, and you'll see it blinks green. Right, if I touch it again, it blinks red. That means it's not paired. Now it is paired. So I tap the button to make sure that they're both working. Right, so you see they tap. On your screen, you're going to have your number in the middle. That is controlled by your dial up here. That's the number that you're going to be, their stimulus number. The C right there means that we have it set to consistent, which is this little M and C button back here. Momentary means regardless of how long I hold down this button, they're going to feel a stimulus of 1/12 of a second. That's it, real quick. With continuous, I can either do that tap or I can hold down on the button and they'll feel this stimulus the entire time this red light is on, up to 12 seconds. Once that goes off, then you can just reapply the button again. So you can do taps if you want to, or you can do continuous if you want to. So that's why I never keep my collar set to momentary, because it doesn't matter if you hold this down, they're just gonna feel that, that's it. So you do a lot of tapping with that. So I don't personally do that. You will see you have 2D blinking here. That means that you have both of your collars are paired and working. If it says 1D, just tap the other button, and if it goes to 2D, you're good. If it doesn't, that probably means that one of your collars isn't paired, and I would double check that. You have a test button here. It's a little T button. These say S for stimulus. This is T for test. The test button is just going to vibrate it like your cell phone. So let me see, I'll start with this one. Okay, so with a 302, to test it, normally you would just tap this and it would make your remote buzz. But since you have a 2-dog system, what you're going to do to test it is you're going to tap the T, and then you're going to tap the dog that you want to test. Okay, so I tap T. If I tap it again, it turns it off. Tap it, test. Okay, so you can see, you can hear it, you can feel it. It just vibrates like your cell phone. So you're not going to do a stimulus on them rather than just to check it. You're like, did I pair that? It doesn't seem like it's working, or he's not feeling it. You're also going to see this weird little symbol come up on your thing. Somehow they think this is a T. Silly. But that's what that means. So you can test with this one. We can test both remotes. Okay, so to turn that off, one more tap. You also have a light feature, which I think is pretty cool on the back. Same thing that you would do with testing it. Let's say you want to turn Moose's on. You're going to tap Moose's button, and then back here, instead of holding down on the button to turn it on, just give it one tap, and you're going to see you have a strobe light. One more tap, you have a solid flashlight. One more tap turns the whole system off. So instead of holding it down, you can do taps for a flashlight. Same thing if you want to turn the other dogs on, just tap their button first, and then, excuse me guys, then tap the back button until theirs turns on. I always recommend, if you're going to use this, to make sure that when you put this on, that you don't put the light facing up on their face, because it's just going to illuminate their skull. Excuse me guys, come out of here. Thank you. So face it down so that when you put it on, this is going down towards the ground and you'll be able to see them at night or what have you. Your stimulus button is going, like I said, is going to be controlled by this dial up here. So you're going to see it rolls really quick to the corresponding number, right? So you really don't need to move much. Their collar just came in. Cassius, Molly, easy. Their collars just came in this morning, so I haven't even put them on or measured their collars or anything yet. I'll cut these down to size for them as well. While I'm talking about that, make sure when you put these on that they are on securely. What a lot of times people do is they put it on too loose, and you're going to see how it's not making contact with my skin. So you want to make sure that when you put it on, it's snug enough that you can move this around on your own if you want to, but it's not going to just slide around. So if it's not making contact with their skin and it's just touching fur, what's going to happen is maybe they'll feel it on one prong and not the other, and you're going to be going way up on your numbers to get him to feel it, and then he's going to like look down, and all of a sudden he's going to make contact with both of them, and then he's going to be like, oh, because he's going to feel it way higher. So make sure that when you put it on, it's on snug, and I will put a Sharpie line right there on it so that you know what the appropriate hole is to put it on for them. When you are doing this, you can lock each dog's number in place. Now, it's a feature you might use with Olive. So personally, I don't think you're going to need to use it very often with Olive, but it is good to have them both. It is good to have them both conditioned to it so that they know what it both is, and you can communicate with them off leash and all that good stuff. So if you decide you want to lock Olive's number in place or something, what you're going to do is, let's say, we'll put her on an 8, okay? So, and it's the wrong one right now. Again, I'll fix that, don't worry. But it's on an 8. So what you're going to do, I'm going to tap Olive's number, and then I'm going to hold down on the dial. That's going to lock that number in place. So even if I roll this, it's locked. To unlock it, you're going to hold down on it again, right? But you can see now it's at a 6 because I was playing with it like this, and you have no idea. So locking isn't a feature that I use often. If I do use it, I use it on a 302 more than I do with a single dog system, because you're going to roll up and down on these numbers a lot depending on the distraction, especially for Moose, because think of it like a hearing aid. If you guys are inside and there's not a lot going on and there's not very many distractions, you might be able to stimulate him on like a 7 or a 10, and he's going to feel it fine. But if you go out to PetSmart and there's a million distractions going on, he's not going to feel this tiny little tap, right? You might have to go like this to get his attention when he's out. So you're going to roll up and down on your numbers a lot depending on the distraction. You might go up to get his attention, and then when you have his attention, you can go back down on your numbers to a more level stimulus number. So if you want to lock it in place, again, you're going to click the dog that you want to lock in place. You're going to hold down on your dial. That will lock it in place. Now, if I want to do the other dog, see, I tapped his button, and now I can go up and down on that dog, but Olive's will still continue to stimulate at the locked level, and then his will stimulate at that. If you want to lock his in place, same thing, click his number, click his button, go to his number, and then he will be, let's say he's locked on a 20 and she's locked on a 5, and then no matter what, if this turns, that is going to be the number that they feel it at. To unlock, again, just hold down on your thing, go to his, hold down on the thing, the dial, not the thing, and then you're unlocked for both of them. So, stimulus, you have your dial, lock it in place, you hold it down, you have your test, you have your magnet, you have your on and your off and your light button. You're never going to need to turn your system off. It turns itself off when you plug everything in. You're just going to need to turn it on each morning. So again, hold down your button, tap each collar on the red magnet, and then just go ahead and put their collars on. I recommend putting them on first thing in the morning, keep them on all day, and then take it off at night. Make it a consistent thing. What happens when people start to just randomly put it on because the dog's not listening and, oh, he's been doing good, he doesn't need to wear it today. He's doing good because you're using this, right? It's kind of like when people take medications and they're like, oh, it's working, so they stop taking it. But it's working because you're taking the medication, right? Same idea. You don't want them to get what we call collar wise, where they understand that they have to listen better when the collar is on. This isn't meant to be a punishment in any way. This is simply meant to be able to go like this to get your dog's attention when you don't have a leash to give them a pop. You now have a way to give them a pop, right? So it's paired with their name. It's not paired with a command. I wouldn't say sit, 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 right? That's why people get a bad rap using these, because they're fear motivating their dog and they're saying, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to stimulate you. That's not how this tool should be used. This tool is meant to be used as a way to say, Moose, hey Moose. And then he pays attention and you say off or stop or sit or come. Now again, off I think may be the only one where you could kind of perceive it as maybe I use it as a punishment. And that's only because with off, it needs to be done right there in the moment. We don't have time to be saying, Moose, pay attention, pay attention. If he goes and he jumps on someone or he's barking at somebody uncontrollably, you can say off and quick get his attention, because you could say, if you wanted to, you could say Moose, right? And do it with his name stern. It's the same thing. It's more about that tone in your voice where he understands, hey, pay attention to me, not that. So that's the only time maybe you would perceive it as that. But even then, it's not a punishment. It's a way to get your dog to pay attention when English or your leash is not working for you. This gives you a third form of pressure and release. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other features. It has a 2-year warranty. 1 year or 2 year, I always forget, I'm sorry, but it does have a warranty. I recommend, wait like 6 months or so and then register it. But when you register your collar, it is ecollar.com. Their serial numbers are underneath their collars, so you're going to be able to register each one. If anything breaks on the collars, they're really good about replacing everything. These are long, extended prongs for long-haired dogs. Probably won't need it for them, but if for any reason, we do need it, you have them. And this is the key to change them. So you just put it on here and take these off and then put these ones on. This is a test light. You can put it on your collar and tap your button, and the light will be brighter as you go up on your dial, so that you can test to make sure that it's working. I always put this on my hand, and when I bring them home, I'm going to have you do it too, but I always just put it on my hand and slowly start tapping and rolling up until I feel it. I typically feel it around a 12. Most of my dogs start feeling it around a 6, 7, 10, somewhere around there. So that gives you an idea of how low the stimulus is. It's so low that I don't even really feel it. And again, it's a TENS unit like you would use at a chiropractor's office. It is not just a shock. It's a muscle stimulator. So you are in total control of how high or low. This thing goes all the way up to 99. I have personally felt every level, and I will say, yeah, anywhere from like 60s up is not comfortable, but that is not a level that you are going to be using on the average dog. I have maybe had 1 or 2 dogs in my entire career that I've had to go to extreme levels like that. They will more than likely be at a regular level, so don't need to worry about that. If you have any questions about anything, all of their information is in the owner's manual. You have a nice little lanyard on your remote. I really recommend wearing this thing. You will put it down and be like, where the hell is my remote? Every time you need it in the moment, you're not going to have it. And as you know, dog training is all about timing, so you want to make sure that you have it in the appropriate time. So if you wear this, better. They also they make clips for it too, that you can just clip it to your pants if you want to. But yeah, all in all, that is pretty much all the features and everything. The only thing I just thought of, blinking green means they're fully charged. Blinking yellow means they are dying. Blinking red means they're fully dead. So, but yeah, besides that, that is pretty much everything you need to know about the collars. They are not very difficult. If you have any questions, let me know. And we're going to go start conditioning the pups. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.